Okay, I wanted to talk to you guys about the the benefits of a stay-at-home mom versus the benefits of a child going to daycare who happens to be under 3 or 4 years old. Okay, now mind you, I was a stay-at-home mom for probably about a year and a half. When my daughter first came into this world or whatever, I was a stay-at-home mom. It was very, very difficult at that time. If you guys were following me, you would know that I was also in school while I was pregnant. And even after I had my daughter, I was still in school. But it also, well, it was more so, yeah, full time, maybe 12 hours, and that's pretty much it. And that's all that I did, and I stayed at home. I think I took a semester or so off. But I know there was a couple times where I was there full time. Anyways, while I was a stay-at-home mom, I found that I was so tired because I was doing everything. So I was cooking, I was cleaning, I was taking care of the kids. As you all know who are single moms, this is a big, tough job, okay? And it's not just taking care of the kids, it's taking care of the whole house. And if you're in a relationship or married, you're also taking care of your spouse. I was actually in the relationship with my child's father at that time for a very long, we were off and on, whatever, for a while there. And so, since I had all that stuff going on, I really didn't have the energy to focus on my child's development all the way. So yes, she did, we did do the potty training thing. Of course, we did, she did walk, those fundamental stages. Yes, she did do those while I was there. But the thing that I wanted to point out is that being a stay-at-home mom, I found that my child only interacted with me and her dad. So she didn't really, and plus she was the only child too. So that made make a difference as well. So maybe if a child has maybe other siblings, they may be able to form those verbal skills that they need to form by the time they get ready to go to school, okay? But with my child, she just hung around me and her dad pretty much the whole time. So we had a set routine for her to make sure that everything was done in order or whatever, so that our whole house wouldn't be in chaos because of not being on a scheduled time. You know what I mean? So one of the things that I noticed that once I did start working, I put Bella in daycare. I actually was working at the daycare at the time or whatever. She was probably about one and a half, a little bit before she hit 1.5. After the first month or so, let's go back to talking about the benefits. Let's first talk about the benefits of staying at home. Okay, first benefit of staying at home with your child is that you get that one-on-one time with your baby that you will never ever have again. For infants and toddlers, they're only little for like a small time, and then before you know it, they're walking, and then they're talking, and then they're doing all these other things. Their personality starts to develop. So it's very important to pay attention to the small times, especially like from 2 years old to infancy. Of course, 2 years. The terrible twos are called that for a reason. So those are the days and the time that you will not get back ever. I mean, it was beautiful, but yet it was a struggle. So anyways, the bonding time with you and your child, of course, is another one. The one-on-one time, yes. And then also, I think they do form some type of independency or whatever. And another thing is that they're not introduced to as many like germs and things like they would at a daycare. Seeing that it's just you and your child, they're not introduced to other germs dealing with all the kids that's surrounding them. So that is a good benefit. Also, being at home, your children are giving a better meal plan that's catered towards that individual. Now at a daycare, it's different because they do have a set meal plan, but at the same token, your children may like it, they may not like it, and then they pretty much have their snacks and things, and if they don't eat that, they don't eat it, and they don't get the next opportunity to have a snack until it's scheduled. So I think being at home with a child, the nutrients is a pretty big thing. What's another thing? nap time. Nap time is so great because when you're at home with your child is sitting there napping or in the other room napping, and you have the opportunity to either take a break, which I would take a break, okay, because that's my time. Just like you go to work, you also have a break time, which is your child's nap time, which may range from 30 minutes to maybe 2 hours or so. You probably don't want to let them go any more than maybe an hour and a half or two, because you're going to pay for it whenever they do go to sleep at night. So I think those are the benefits of staying at home. Now on the other side, daycare. The good thing about daycare is that I just painted, so there's tape still on the wall. The good thing about having your child in daycare is that they have the opportunity to develop some pretty serious skills, because most of the time when the children are around maybe 1 to 3 years old, they're pretty much learning from each other. Of course, they're learning from the adults that are surrounding them, but their verbal skills really start to take root whenever they're actually using it with the other children that surround them. Also, they have a huge variety of toys that are available to them at school. So they get to go outside several times during the day. I'm pretty sure you can do that at home too, but they get to go outside several times a day. They have circle times for learning time, which can range in the morning. Sometimes they'll have circle time, and they'll also have it at before they get ready to leave too. And then they read to them several times during the day. So there's a lot of good verbal and motor skills that are taking place at this time. Now, another thing is the bad thing that I would say about daycares is that it can sometimes be a revolving door for the employees that are there. So you may have a teacher there for maybe a year, maybe about a year, or maybe 2 months. Who knows? But there's never like a constant at each daycare. You do have some that are veterans that have been there for a very long time, but more than likely these teachers are going in and out of the daycare facility, okay? Whereas at home, you know, mom is mom, and so there's nobody that's going to replace mom, other than dad may help, of course, too. But that's the thing, is that there's stability at home, of course, but there's not so much at daycares centers, okay? Another another not so good benefit for the daycare is that your well, it could be good and could be bad, so it's a double-edged sword. So your children are introduced to different germs, okay? Because you have the kids that have the runny nose and sneezing on other kids or coughing on other kids and things like that. They're wiping their boogers on the excuse me, I'm sorry, but we all have kids. Wiping their boogers on the doorknobs or something like that or whatever. And those are the things that can happen. And so if your child is going back behind these kids and touching the same toys or putting things in their mouth that they have no business putting in their mouth, or I mean, that's what toddlers do. But if they do that, then they're introduced to so many new germs that they wouldn't have had access to whenever they're at home at the house, actually. And so the thing that I would say is that it's also good that their body is being introduced to these germs in a way, because it's building up their immune system, and that's what you want it to do. So the more it gets access, or more that it's getting in front of, their bodies are being introduced to these germs, their body is starting to build their own antibodies and try to, you know, start the whole process to where they don't get sick as fast. So out of all of this is the good things and bad things about being a stay-at-home mom versus the daycare. Both are very good. What I would suggest for most moms is see if you can actually, if you're a stay-at-home mom, it can be a whole lot to take on or whatever, but we're soldiers, so I'm pretty sure I know that we can still survive if we're stay-at-home moms, okay? My mom did it for years, and you know. So the thing about it is that what I would suggest for stay-at-home moms and daycare children, people that take their kids to daycare, I would suggest probably just trying to see if you can do, what is it, the Mother's Day Out program. Now, mind you, stay-at-home moms, it may be more beneficial for you because daycares can be very expensive, and sometimes even for the crappy daycares it can be kind of expensive, and so that's something that's tagged on. So I can completely understand how, why a mother would rather stay at home with their infant until they get to a certain age where they can actually take them to daycare so that they can go back to work or do something, volunteer work or whatever they plan on doing. So that is a big decision in most households, is by people staying at home. But what I would suggest is trying to put them in a Mother's Day Out program. That way they can not only give you a break. I know some people are like, well, I love staying at home with my child. Well, if you get more time to yourself just to kind of think of things, it can refresh you so that you could be a better mom, a better alert mom and happy mom, so that you can have at least some time to yourself, because it could be a whole lot if you're always in the house watching over the child every day, 24/7. It could be a whole lot, trust me, because I felt like those four walls was about to crawl in on me, but I ended up surviving. So again, if you are a stay-at-home mom, then I would suggest checking into a great Mother's Day Out program. And sometimes those are like twice a week or 3 times a week, and they're only for like probably the most is 4 hours or something like that. And that gives the kids the time to be introduced to the classroom type environment and interact with some friends. So hopefully that helped you a little bit. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and talk to me. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.